Hi Cancer Wellness friends. Oh my gosh, I've got some comfort food makeovers today that I think you're really gonna love. And we're gonna kick it off with some meatballs. Yes, I said meatballs, but actually they're not meatballs. They're made with lentils, but I think you and your family are still gonna love them and they're gonna be so much better for you. So, starting off with a little bit of what we call a Sofrito or aromatics in a pan. I have about a half a cup of carrots, a half a cup of celery, and about a cup of red onion that I minced. So I chopped it really thin, or really small pieces, and I put it in my pan here with a little bit of olive oil and then cooked it down slowly. So here's what it looks like. Next up, we are going to put in some more aromatics. In that, we're going to put in some garlic and we're going to put in some spices. So here we go. I've got a couple cloves of garlic right here. And oh my gosh, once we put that in, it's going to smell so good. Come on. That garlic does not want to leave. I'm going to get a spoon right here. So I always put my garlic in after I put the rest of my veggies like onions and carrots and celery in there because I want that garlic to smell great and not burn and get bitter. So next up I have some oregano or Italian seasoning. You can use Italian seasoning, and a pinch of red pepper flakes, a little bit of sea salt, just a little sprinkle, and some freshly ground pepper. And you know I'm grinding it because, of course, we want a lot of flavor and the nutrition from the pepper. Oh, I wish there was smell-o-vision because I'm telling you that garlic in with all these veggies that have cooked down smells so good. Next up, I'm going to put in a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. So here's my tomato paste here, and I'm actually putting it in just by itself without anything else, and I made a little spot in the middle of my pan, and I'm just gonna cook it for about a minute. Tomato paste can taste raw, and we want it to be toasty, good tomato flavor. So once I swirl that around in the bottom of my pan for about a minute, then I'm going to gather up the rest of my veggies and incorporate the tomato paste in there. Oh my gosh, yum! Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my pan off the heat. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to grab a pot holder and put my pan here, and I'm going to add in some more ingredients. I'm going to add in about a half cup of chopped toasted walnuts. That's going to add that meaty flavor along with my other ingredient, which is my lentils that I cooked. I started with a cup of dry lentils, and then when I cooked it, just like the package said, which was putting in about 4 or 5 cups of water. When I did that and cooked my lentils down with about a teaspoon of salt, I got a beautiful 2.5 cups of lentils. And we're using brown lentils here. And we're using the brown lentils specifically because those are gonna hold up. Their structure is gonna stay together. And you know, we want something that tastes meaty. And meaty tasting things like turkey or beef have some structure to them. So that's why we're using the brown lentils. So all I've done is kind of stirred that together. Next up, I have a few more ingredients. I have about a 1/4 cup of whole wheat panko. Now, if you can't find whole wheat, you can use regular panko. I can find it sometimes in Kroger stores. I found it in Walmart a couple times. Ian's has it. You can always find whole wheat panko crumbs online. So there we go, my 1/4 cup. Next up, I have about the same amount of just freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Again, I'm going for that meaty flavor, that rich flavor, that umami flavor, you know, the flavor of mushrooms and meat without putting any meat in here. So there we go. Now I've got that. all put together. And last but not least, I have 1 egg white and 1 whole egg. And I'm gonna put that in there, and that's really gonna be my binder. It's gonna keep those lentils together and when I roll them into balls. And putting in 1 egg and then 1 egg white allows us to keep it together without adding additional fat from another egg yolk. So keep that egg yolk. You can always freeze it and use it somewhere later. So